So Justin, 2 days ago, I was kind of sort of into Assassin's Creed Unity, and then they announced that they had co-op, and I saw how many people were in the environment, and I saw this gorgeous world, and now I'm very, very interested in Assassin's Creed Unity. You saw it today. You didn't get to play it, but you saw it. What'd you see? How was it?
Well, I saw it a couple of days ago. I was also pretty interested in it. I think that just looking at it right off, you feel like, okay, this looks like they're finally switching up Assassin's Creed a little bit more. I think since Assassin's Creed 2 is like the last game I played, I thought, okay, this is pretty different from 1. And then since it's like, hey, this works really well, we'll keep doing that. Yeah, so maybe a little bit more here. Unfortunately, I'm about the same amount of excited today as I was 2 days ago because they showed me the exact same thing. I would not have been able to tell you if the guy took one step that was different from that, other than to stop and, and answer my questions. Because I'd ask the guys, like, so can you kill these guys? He's like, I could, but instead I'm going to go over here and kill these guys. And I'm like, okay. And then he goes, and here we see, there are people, and people kind of looking at this building. Something's happened. So the game is giving you a clue to go in here. And he goes in and accept the mission. He's like, this is one of our kind of murder mysteries you can solve. I'm like, can we go and check out that murder mystery? He's like, you could, but I personally cannot. So essentially,
I could, but then they'd kill me.
Yeah, essentially, I saw the thing. It's running. The guy is playing it, manipulating it with hands. And
clearly,
stopping.
Templar influence at E3.
Right? Maybe. Yeah. There's some Templars in Ubisoft upper management, maybe. But yeah. I mean, I saw it. It looked pretty much the same, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Ended the exact same way.
But the guy was playing it.
He was playing it,
and eventually there were 4 guys.
At the end, he said, these 4 guys, it'll look like the 3 guys are coming in. It's basically just what they did in the demo and showed that the co-op was possible. So I didn't see another player actually come in and do anything.
But there were other people. Oh, you didn't see?
No, I think they're faking that part for the press conference. They're
okay.
Just like, hey, so this is a thing that could happen, or we're showing you that other people.
Well, yay, let's speculate then.
Oh, well, he did talk a little bit about the structure, I guess. So
the structure of what?
For the multiplayer, how the multiplayer fits in. So he said there's kind of a separate progression, maybe not exactly a separate campaign, but kind of like a separate branch of things that you will, do with this group of people. And I guess you're the main. I'm not sure how exactly it works. He wasn't offering a lot of new details, but most of the game, you play by yourself, you plan out your stuff. He did say they wanted to get back to, more open things or assassinations. So the one we saw in the press conference, I'm kind of jumping backwards here, so forgive me for that. But you see the guy in the crowd, you need to kill him. He's like, you can kill him before he ever gets to the guillotine. You don't have to climb up and then jump over and jump on top of the guillotine and then splat him. You could jump up and shoot him, perhaps. He's like, I'm not going to do that, but one could do that. And you could attack him in the crowd. He said you could use smoke bombs. You could, fire a gunshot into the air, and people will, kind of disperse and run like mad. I thought that would be really cool to see, but. Yeah. Maybe I'll see it some other time.
Can you just like perch yourself on a windowsill with some popcorn and watch people get decapitated?
Maybe. I don't know if they'd run out of people or not. That's something that's much further into the development cycle.
I was curious to peek and see if they had some kind of like head removal system where there was like a trap door or something that like all the heads would go rolling
I think
down.
Everyone that watched the
and
demo,
then they make meat pies out of them.
Yeah, I think everyone that watched that press conference demo was thinking, could he kill that guy and prevent this person from being beheaded, whoever they are? And he's like, I suppose maybe you could, but you won't see that right now. But yeah, so separate multiplayer thing. I think there will be multiplayer missions that are kind of built into the world, and you can trigger them or activate them. I don't know for sure. Because
that's my main question: is does the game become super easy when you have 4 players, or are you only doing 4-player specific stuff that the difficulty has been raised or the variables have been expanded to make?
Yeah, the impression I got that there's specifically designed multiplayer content that you can play with your friends, and I don't know if it's repeatable or anything like that. Man, he did. He teased a few things or said, oh, this is a merchant. He'll sell you different things. We have much more than we had before. I'm like, can you tell me what it is? And
customization comes up. They didn't do anything in the demo, and I imagine they didn't really focus on that specifically. The trailer definitely you see like a guy in blue, a guy in green, a guy in yellow. So I think they were hinting at, obviously, and of course in the past you could switch out what they were wearing and their weapons and stuff. But
he did mention different weapons, and he said. The combat is a little different. I can bring up something. Yeah, I do have a few things to talk about, even though it was so.
Oh, thank God!
It was so samey from what we saw in the press conference. But yeah, so combat
samey as in same as the other example of that game, not
Yeah, it was
same
like
as other games.
Yeah, it was like deja vu. It was so much the same. I'm like, it's so kind of frustrating. But yeah, he actually killed the guy much better than they did on stage, though.
He
dispatched him a little more.
There was
cleanly.
one thing actually in the stage demo where there's two guys standing in front of a building, and he like walked through them and then like pulled out his sword. It looked like a goof. It looked like he meant to like do the double kill.
Yeah. Oh, this guy just double killed them, and he was like, "Pa!" It looked like a weird improvised angle. I don't know. They might have done some work in the animation.
I love he does like the Cobra
kills.
Kai sweep the leg move.
That's a lot. That's a common counter. I saw him do that 2 or 3 times. So essentially, the parry is not like an instant. Well, you're screwed now. It just kind of repels the guy a little bit. And he said there are 2 types of parries. One just kind of guards the blow. You don't take any damage, and you have to do it with better timing to get the you actually knock him away and then do the sweep or do kind of a kick. I think the animation just depends on what attack you parried or what animations are occurring in combat. But yeah, so combat looks okay. I didn't see him get into any big multi-man melees or anything. He said that they wanted to make combat a little harder because he realized that sometimes just like, guys lining up and coming, like you do the counter and you're like, okay, next guy, taking on the 100 ninjas.
Yeah, you definitely get to kind of an indestructible point with with the exception of like tons of bad guys or like a weird tough like
so I didn't
boss.
see that, but he indicated to me that it would be more dangerous to take on a bunch of people at once.
From everything you see, and I know that from everything you've seen at E3 so far, do you have any concerns? Is there anything that really excites you about Unity? Anything? If he was like, okay, I can't do this because I'll get fired. Ubi will throw me out on the street if I give you this detail about the game. But you actually cracked him, and he was like, okay, I'll tell you this one thing. What would you want to know?
Oh man, since I tried that 7 times, it's hard to know.
Out of the 7, which one would you want to cash in on?
I guess like you, I'm curious to know how exactly the multiplayer fits into the world. If you're going to be like repeating these missions to gain something, if it's story motivated, if you're trying to see a story by doing this, or it's something you're like, oh, I guess it's Thursday night, so me and my buddies always do some multiplayer missions. I'm not sure exactly how much is there, or what you get out of that as a player, other than
because there are models, like Crackdown, is coming back, and that obviously Crackdown 2 had a strong co-op component. Grand Theft Auto Online obviously has a very specific structure of like how they set up missions and how you find people in the game, to do stuff with you.
Right.
So yeah, it's not like co-op is new to the Creed, so I think this is probably the most robust parkour or kind of open world traversal system. Like there was no co-op in Infamous or Prototype or anything like that.
Let me give you one more cool thing, which is also quite small, but one of the examples of hey, let's mess with this game a little bit. Maybe we can make it a little better. We don't have to just use this same thing because it works. So you probably noticed that when the guy was descending the building, it was way faster than the past. So essentially, the free run there is go up. I think you free run, hold A, you will gain, and if you hold B, you will quickly move down. Well, it looks really good. You don't have to like fall off and like,
oh no, you just drop until you grab the last ledge.
So your guy will kind of stylishly get down.
Cool,
so this looks like you can move faster. Maybe combat's a little bit smoother. So
that is a good point. I definitely did notice that in the demo.
Yeah, the first Assassin's Creed game I think since 2, where I thought, oh, okay, I should be paying attention to this. This looks really interesting. Not to diss the boat completely. Boat's pretty cool. Black Flag, but
any weirdness, any glitches or anything that stuck out? I mean, Assassins has had a history at E3 of like, whoops, don't see that.
Yep. Went pretty much according to plan. But, he was certainly following the plan.
He was a master assassin in that demo, particularly.
Right? Yeah, he was a player on the stage, executing his part perfectly.
Do you have a lot of experience with Assassin's Creed? Is this game you'll probably play?
2 is the last one that I played the whole thing of, and I've just kind of like dabbled with the other games, but more interested in this one for sure. Maybe the setting looks. I think a lot of people feel like the setting just looks. I don't know what it is about it. Is it because Les Mis came out and everyone saw it in the theaters? I kind of feel like they must have said, "Hey, French Revolution is big now," or more people are familiar with this time period. But yeah, it looks pretty good.
So they didn't break out singing anywhere in the demo, but it could be a possibility.
No, I made that joke during the press conference. I didn't ask the guy if he could sing. I think I was testing his patience already, but
I don't know. Maybe we'll get some make some in-game movies or something like that.
Could be.
Do some video capturing. So cool. I'm super excited about it. Thank you for filling in some more details, even though you didn't actually get hands-on with it. But hopefully we'll hear more soon.
Yeah, I played it with my eyes. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.